Caddo Commissioner Mario Chavez. Erin has a text, and you can say who it's from if you are so inclined, but it has to do with the current conditions of the animal control. What's the official name, please?
Caddo Animal Services. I may have that wrong, Mario.
And I know that you are sort of at the vanguard of this, but I want her to read this text first, and then you can comment, rather, about the meeting last night.
Go for it.
Concerned citizens met last night. Mike Middleton, Mario Chavez came and answered questions. Dogs in horrible conditions, not getting medical attention, broken legs, starving, found dead in cages, fighting for food when there are more than one in a pen. Let's see. It's scrolling on me. Just a second. Euthanizing dogs that have been tagged for rescue, not enforcing codes for lawbreakers and animal abusers, slap on the wrist when taken to court, not telling the truth, etc. We want state procedures to be followed, cameras to be hung in all areas, pictures of intakes taken upon arrival. It goes on. Lots of allegations. I know you're concerned about this. Is any of it true?
Erin, some of it is and some of it isn't. Unfortunately, a lot of it's social media. It's a lot of anger fueled by social media. Some of it does have legitimate complaints, and then some of it is just common error. We can pick apart each one, but just for instance, like where one dog was euthanized and it shouldn't have been, they have a procedure where they stamp which ones are going to be sent out for rescue. And although one lady did voice her opinion that she wanted one stamped, I went down there for that one because I was pretty mad about it. And she had not stamped the proper paperwork. So when the workers go through the paperwork and they pull the dogs that are going to be sent out for rescue, they grab each one that has the stamp on it. It's got a blue mark and it's got a stamp for rescue. This one didn't have it. So the workers were following the procedure as far as which dogs get euthanized and which dogs don't. So unfortunately, that one slipped through the cracks. They said, the worker said, well, I told that person. I said, well, if we have a procedure, you know, if you're at McDonald's, you order number one, you get number one, you did that. You ordered it. So, but unfortunately, there is a lot of stuff that is going on that we really want to get to the full to fix.
Well, pardon me, Mario. When's the last time you walked through and looked for yourself? And B, what's wrong? What's specifically wrong that you think needs to be fixed?
Robert, that's a great question. Thanks. Actually, it was last week, and I've done it about, I'd say 5 times in the last 2 months, just because people keep saying that. But unfortunately, a lot of them don't go up there. You asked me when did I go, and I did go. I had somebody that called me yesterday saying that the conditions are horrific. And I said, well, when is the last time you went up there? And she says, well, I've been there in about 3 years. I said, well, okay, if you haven't been there in 3 years, you really can't justify that the conditions are horrific. If you look at the numbers, if you look at what Chuck Wilson has done, the euthanization rate is down to 57%. It was at like 80% 2 or 3 years ago. They've rescued out over 1,200 dogs just this last year. That's astronomical compared to what they have done. So, yes, the social media, it's fueled by anger. You can see the dogs. But unfortunately, a lot of that comes from different rescues. The way that they get money is the same way the charities get money. When you see the small kid from Mexico on the TV that they're asking for 80 cents a day, they're not going to put a healthy American kid sitting there eating a sandwich saying, we need 80 cents a day. So they go in there and they specifically ask this. They say, we want to see your work dogs. They found dogs that were starving on the streets that they just brought into the shelter that very day. They took pictures of them, and then they posted them on Facebook so they could raise money. They raised like $2,000 for this dog that was starving to get the dog out. But that money, that dog doesn't need $2,000. So these rescues are doing it to make money. So there's good rescues out there, and then there's rescues out there that are trying to make a profit. So it's hard because this is another thing. We're not an animal rescue. We're not. A lot of people have the misconception. Caddo Parish Animal Shelter, it's a service where we get the animals that are at large off the streets, so they're not nuisances, and we bring them into the shelter. Unfortunately, some of the people want them taken care of a different way. They don't want big dogs with small dogs, and they really want to mandate how they're running it up there. And the hard thing is they think that we should have a veterinarian 24 hours a day there to fix the dogs. We don't have the funding for that, nor the budget, nor is that the point of animal services.
Mario, Caddo Parish has a ton of money. Caddo Parish is flush with money, everyone will tell you. Why can't we do better?
Everybody says that. They all say that. But if they actually came down there and looked at the budget, it's about 4 inches thick, they'll realize that, no, there's a lot of allocations. And you can drive around and look at the city and say, well, maybe they don't have that much money. Now, we do have more money than everybody else as far as the city and other parishes. but it's because we're responsible with the money. We're not just throwing away like, hey, we have all the money, let's just spend it all.
What's the answer? Can we put cameras in? Can we do better? What will you ask that they do?
You know what? Good question, Erin. That's exactly what Mike and I are looking to do. That's why we called that meeting. I went and talked to a couple other people, and they said, Mario, this issue has gone on for 30 years. They said this has been on since the 70s, and nobody's ever happy with animal service. I said, well, you know what, guys? That's not the answer. So this is going to be where we can actually make a difference. I really have faith, and I said this last night. Mike is a retired sheriff deputy. He did law enforcement. The people that work up there, the animal control officers, they're post-certified officers. He can really take what he's learned for the last 30 years and seen how he ran, because it's the same thing if you look at what Sheriff Prater has ran. He takes inmates in, he takes people off the streets, he takes pictures of them.
Excuse me, Mario, pardon me, because we've got just about a minute. If you had to make, if you were the guy, which you kind of are, if you could make 2 or 3 specific changes, if you could implement those right away, what would they be?
Technology. I'd put cameras in, and I would start doing just like the sheriff does, where you can get a picture of every single person that comes in. You can track it online. You can see where he's going from cell to cell. Technology is going to be the answer. That's really what I believe.